The harassment escalated yet again, this time in an almost petty but deeply symbolic way. The HOA officers, phony enforcers handpicked by Karen, had taken to repeatedly crushing my farm mailbox. Every day, day after day, I would find the mailbox battered, splintered, or torn from its post, as if the repeated destruction of such a mundane object could somehow intimidate me into submission. What they didn't know was that I had anticipated petty aggression as well as major sabotage. I began by documenting everything meticulously. Hidden cameras recorded every approach to the mailbox, capturing the perpetrators in the act. Each dent, each splintered plank, and each footprint around the site was logged, complete with timestamps. While they believed they were striking at me, they were actually building a case against themselves. Every violation recorded with irrefutable evidence. But documentation alone wasn't enough. I decided it was time for a creative and symbolic countermeasure. I installed a mailbox unlike anything they had ever seen. Reinforced, camouflaged, and designed to survive repeated assaults. It was not just a deterrent. It was a statement. Every time they attempted to crush it, they would fail, revealing the futility of their aggression. The first attempt after the new installation was telling. Karen's officers returned in the dead of night, confident in their previous success. As they approached the mailbox, it triggered a subtle but effective mechanism. A harmless but startling alarm designed to alert me immediately and disorient the intruders. Caught on camera, their frantic reactions were both evidence of their continued trespass and a public display of their incompetence. Neighbors who reviewed the footage later were stunned. What had seemed like petty vandalism became an almost theatrical demonstration of strategy and preparation. Karen's agents, meant to intimidate, were exposed as bumbling intruders whose every action had been anticipated and neutralized. The mailbox, once a simple conduit for correspondence, had become a symbol of my dominance over the property and my ability to turn harassment into evidence and deterrence. The HOA leadership and Karen were furious. Their repeated failures were now visible to the community, further eroding their credibility. Every crushed mailbox, every failed intrusion, and every alarm triggered highlighted not just their incompetence, but also their reckless escalation. Meanwhile, my strategic response became a case study in controlled retaliation, responding firmly, legally, and effectively without escalating violence or risk. Beyond symbolism, the installation served a practical purpose. The mailbox was now virtually indestructible, equipped with hidden cameras and reinforced with materials that could withstand significant force. Every future attempt at interference would be recorded and rendered legally actionable. Karen's petty tactics no longer posed any threat. They only strengthened my position and reinforced the lesson that property rights, preparation, and foresight trump harassment every time. Over the following weeks, the repeated attempts at mailbox destruction ceased. Karen and her phony officers realized, finally, that their efforts were futile and that continued aggression would only accumulate evidence against them. The community began to recognize a pattern. Every overreach by the HOA was met not with retaliation in kind, but with measured, strategic, and legally supported responses that neutralized threats while exposing the aggressors. By the end of this chapter, the mailbox was more than a receptacle for letters. It was a monument to foresight, preparation, and the futility of aggression against a well-prepared opponent. Karen had attempted to assert control, humiliate me, and provoke fear, but every action she took only revealed her recklessness and strengthened my authority. The HOA's attempts at intimidation had transformed into proof of their failures, and my property, security, and reputation were stronger than ever.